Artificial intelligence is now an integral part of our daily lives, quietly shaping how we live, work, and connect. From personalized recommendations to advanced navigation, AI is the silent partner behind modern marvels. But behind every breakthrough, there are human stories. Scientists, engineers, and thinkers pushing the boundaries of what machines can do. Their motivations, ethics, and journeys are embedded in every line of code. In this series, we'll reveal the faces and stories of 4 pioneers whose work is transforming our world. By understanding their journeys, we gain insight into the forces driving AI's evolution and the questions we must confront as our future becomes ever more entwined with intelligent machines. The story of AI is, at its core, a human story, one of curiosity, perseverance, and vision. Breakthroughs in AI are the result of individuals daring to ask, can a machine think, learn, and create like us? Through periods of excitement and skepticism, a few dedicated researchers kept the dream alive, building the foundation for today's AI. Meet Geoffrey Hinton, the godfather of deep learning, Fei-Fei Li, champion of human-centered AI, Demis Hassabis, the mind behind DeepMind, and Timnit Gebru, a leading voice in AI ethics. Their work spans from technical innovation to ethical accountability. These are the minds shaping our world. Let's explore their impact. AI's story began with Alan Turing's simple question: can a machine imitate human intelligence? The Turing test set the stage for a new field, one focused on simulating human thought. In 1956, the Dartmouth Workshop officially coined artificial intelligence, gathering pioneers to dream of machines that could reason and learn. Early programs like The Logic Theorist proved computers could tackle problems once thought uniquely human. These foundational moments sparked a global quest to build intelligent machines. The dream was no longer science fiction. It was a scientific pursuit, but the journey ahead would be far more challenging than anyone imagined. The early optimism of AI's pioneers soon collided with reality. While machines could solve puzzles and play games, they struggled with the messy complexity of the real world. Hype outpaced progress, and critical reports in the 1970s led to funding cuts and disillusionment. The first AI winter. The term artificial intelligence became synonymous with overpromising and underdelivering. Many researchers rebranded their work just to survive. This harsh lesson tempered expectations and forced a reckoning with the true scale of the challenge. Building intelligent machines would require patience, perseverance, and breakthroughs yet to come. Amid the AI winter, a small group of researchers clung to the idea of neural networks, systems inspired by the brain's architecture. Early models like the perceptron were limited, and mainstream AI dismissed them after harsh critiques. But visionaries like Geoffrey Hinton, Yann LeCun, and Yoshua Bengio persisted, believing deep networks could unlock true machine learning. The breakthrough came with backpropagation, allowing multi-layered networks to learn complex patterns. Suddenly, neural networks could recognize handwriting and speech with surprising accuracy. This quiet revolution laid the groundwork for today's AI explosion. Persistence in the face of skepticism paid off. The rebirth of neural networks marked a turning point, shifting AI from handcrafted rules to machines that learn from data. Meet Geoffrey Hinton, a figure foundational to the AI revolution, widely known as the godfather of deep learning. His story is one of extraordinary persistence through a period when his ideas were considered academic folly. From a young age, Hinton was captivated by the mystery of the human brain. This fascination led him to pursue artificial intelligence, choosing a path less traveled, mimicking the brain's structure with artificial neural networks. This conviction put him at odds with the prevailing scientific consensus for decades, during the long AI winter when funding had all but vanished. Yet, Hinton remained steadfast, toiling in relative obscurity, exploring how interconnected layers of computational neurons could be trained to learn from data. His journey took him to Canada, which proved to be a more welcoming environment. This persistence was crucial, keeping the flame of neural network research alive, ensuring that the theoretical groundwork was in place for when technology would finally catch up. He envisioned systems that could develop their own understanding by processing vast amounts of raw data. Hinton saw the immense potential, paving the way for the deep learning revolution. The first major thaw in the long AI winter came with a critical technical breakthrough: the backpropagation algorithm, popularized by Hinton. Backpropagation provided a mathematically elegant and computationally efficient method for training deep, multi-layered neural networks. This innovation was a game changer. Suddenly, these models could learn to recognize patterns in handwriting and speech. Backpropagation transformed neural networks from a theoretical curiosity into a practical tool. Hinton also co-invented the Boltzmann machine, a more complex neural network using statistical physics to learn. It could discover underlying structures in a dataset on its own. These technical contributions heralded the end of the AI winter. This period of quiet, focused innovation laid the groundwork for deep learning's astonishing power. Deep learning was a niche area of research until 2012. At the ImageNet Large-Scale Visual Recognition Challenge, Hinton and his students entered AlexNet. It shattered all previous records, proving deep learning's power. The world took notice, and investment poured in. The AI revolution kicked into high gear. However, Hinton's perspective began to shift as he witnessed the exponential growth in AI capabilities. He grew concerned about the potential risks. In 2023, Hinton left Google to speak freely about the dangers of advanced AI. He began to warn the public about misinformation, job elimination, and existential threats. The godfather of AI had become its most prominent critic, expressing a sobering regret. His journey had come full circle, cautioning the world to proceed with wisdom. While Geoffrey Hinton forged algorithms for machines to learn, Dr. Fei-Fei Li tackled a fundamental problem: data. A child learns through immersive visual experience. Li believed machines needed a similar education, a vast, organized library of the visual world. This set Li on a quest to give algorithms a better education. In the early 2000s, computer vision was slow, relying on small datasets. AI models failed in the real world. Li envisioned a data-centric approach, fueling a breakthrough in machine perception. Her journey, as a young immigrant, instilled a sense of purpose. She aimed to augment human capabilities and solve real-world problems, teaching machines to understand the visual world. Li's idea: build the greatest textbook ever created, not of words, but of millions of labeled images. It was an audacious plan, setting the stage for a significant contribution to AI. The vision of a massive visual dataset led to ImageNet. Li and her team set out to map the visual world, using WordNet to find images for tens of thousands of categories. The logistics was staggering: sourcing, sorting, labeling millions of images. Li turned to crowdsourcing, using Amazon's Mechanical Turk. A global workforce of nearly 50,000 people from over 160 countries helped label the images for 2.5 years. By its completion, ImageNet contained over 14 million hand-annotated images in 20,000 categories. To spur innovation, she launched the ImageNet Large-Scale Visual Recognition Challenge in 2010. ImageNet ignited the deep learning revolution, providing the fuel for AI's generational leap forward. Fei-Fei Li expanded her focus to ensuring AI served humanity in a beneficial and equitable way. She became a prominent advocate for human-centered AI. This insists that AI development must be guided by a deep consideration for its human impact, prioritizing core human values. This led her to explore AI's application in healthcare. Li and her students have pioneered work using computer vision to assist medical professionals. Li also recognized the need for greater diversity and inclusion within AI. To combat bias and ensure AI benefits all, she co-founded AI for All, educating the next generation of AI leaders. Fei-Fei Li has become a crucial moral compass for the age of AI, reminding us of our collective responsibility. The path to advanced AI began in video game design. This is the story of Demis Hassabis, a prodigy who relentlessly pursued understanding intelligence. Hassabis excelled at strategy games, becoming a chess master as a teenager. He co-designed the ambitious game Theme Park at 17. He was building complex simulations, driven by a desire to model intelligent behavior. This early work planted the seeds for a grander ambition. Hassabis saw video games as a training ground for AI. After gaming, he pursued a PhD in cognitive neuroscience. He wanted to bridge AI and the human brain. In 2010, Hassabis co-founded DeepMind in London. Its goal: solve intelligence. He believed they could create a general-purpose learning machine, applicable to global challenges. Their early work focused on teaching an AI to play Atari video games. The AI learned to play and achieved superhuman performance. This was the first major proof of concept for DeepMind's approach. The journey to solve intelligence had begun. While mastering Atari games was impressive, Demis Hassabis and DeepMind tackled an even greater challenge: the ancient game of Go. Go requires something more akin to human intuition. This made Go the perfect challenge for AI. In 2016, AlphaGo faced Lee Sedol. AlphaGo won 4-1. In the second game, AlphaGo played Move 37 that left commentators baffled. It was a stroke of deep, creative genius. AlphaGo was demonstrating a form of intuition. The victory of AlphaGo was a watershed moment for AI. It proved that AI could excel at intuition, creativity, and pattern recognition. For Hassabis, it was a powerful validation of DeepMind's mission. Winning games was never the ultimate goal. It was a way to develop the technology before applying it to real-world scientific problems. Demis Hassabis directed DeepMind's AI to tackle the protein folding problem. For 50 years, scientists struggled with predicting proteins' 3D shape from their amino acid sequence. Cracking this could revolutionize medicine. DeepMind developed AlphaFold, training it on known protein structures. In 2020, AlphaFold achieved unprecedented accuracy in a global competition, solving the problem in days versus years. The scientific community celebrated this breakthrough. DeepMind made AlphaFold's structures and source code freely available, releasing a database of over 200 million proteins. This contribution accelerates research in various fields. Hassabis aims to use AI for scientific discovery, believing we're entering a new age of digital biology. Intelligence finds its highest purpose in solving problems. As AI boomed, a new narrative emerged, asking critical questions about power, fairness, and societal impact. Dr. Timnit Gebru is at the forefront of this conversation, a researcher whose work is a powerful counterbalance to the industry's relentless drive for progress. Her story is about holding the creators of these systems accountable and ensuring AI is just and equitable for everyone. Gebru argues that AI systems are not impartial. They are products of society, complete with its biases. She is often described as the conscience of the field, a necessary and courageous voice. Her research is a constant reminder that progress without ethics is not progress at all. Dr. Gebru's most influential work has been in demonstrating, with rigorous scientific evidence, the tangible harms caused by biased AI systems. In a landmark 2018 study titled Gender Shades, co-authored with Joy Buolamwini, she exposed the shocking inaccuracies of commercial facial recognition systems. Their research revealed that these AI products, sold by major tech companies, perform significantly worse when identifying women and people of color, particularly dark-skinned women. For this demographic, the error rates were alarmingly high, sometimes failing to correctly identify gender in nearly 35% of cases. In contrast, the systems were almost flawless when identifying light-skinned men, the group most represented in the training data. This research was a bombshell. It moved the discussion about AI bias from a theoretical, abstract concern to a documented, undeniable reality with profound real-world consequences. Facial recognition technology was already being deployed by law enforcement, governments, and corporations for everything from identifying criminal suspects to making hiring decisions. The Gender Shades study proved that these systems were not only flawed, but were actively discriminating against entire segments of the population. It was a powerful demonstration of how seemingly neutral code could encode and automate systemic bias, leading to wrongful arrests, missed job opportunities, and the erosion of civil liberties for already marginalized communities. Gebru's critical examination of AI did not stop at facial recognition. As the co-lead of Google's ethical AI team, she turned her attention to the next major wave of technology large language models, the very systems that power chatbots like ChatGPT. In a research paper she co-authored titled On the Dangers of Stochastic Parrots, she and her colleagues raised urgent concerns about the immense risks associated with these models. They highlighted the environmental cost of training such massive systems, their tendency to absorb and regurgitate biased and hateful language from their training data, and the potential for them to be used as powerful tools for generating convincing misinformation and propaganda on an unprecedented scale. This paper proved to be a turning point in her career. In December 2020, Timnit Gebru's employment at Google was terminated in a highly public and contentious manner, which she and many others have described as a firing in retaliation for her research. The incident sent shockwaves through the AI community. sparking widespread outrage and protests from thousands of researchers both inside and outside the company. It laid bare the deep conflict between the pursuit of ethical AI research and the commercial interests of the tech giants that dominate the field. Though she was pushed out, the controversy amplified her voice and cemented her role as a fearless leader in the fight for AI accountability. Rather than being silenced by her departure from Google, Timnit Gebru was galvanized. The experience really highlighted the structural problems inherent in conducting critical ethics research within large, profit-driven corporations. She recognized the urgent need for an independent space where researchers could investigate the societal impacts of AI without fear of censorship or corporate influence. In this spirit, she went on to found the Distributed AI Research Institute, or DIR. This new organization is a groundbreaking model for AI research, one that is community-rooted, globally distributed, and explicitly independent from the pressures of big tech's agenda and funding. It represents a radical reimagining of who gets to do AI research and for what purpose. DIR's mission is to conduct research that is grounded in the experiences and needs of communities that are most likely to be harmed by AI technologies. It kind of flips the traditional research model on its head. Instead of starting with a technological capability and then looking for a problem to solve, DIR starts by listening to communities and understanding their challenges, then exploring how technology can, or sometimes cannot, be a part of the solution. The Institute's distributed nature means it collaborates with researchers from all over the world, particularly from regions in Africa, Asia, and Latin America that are often excluded from the mainstream AI conversation, ensuring a more diverse and globally representative perspective. The research conducted at DIR is intentionally interdisciplinary and critical. It moves beyond simply identifying bias and aims to challenge the fundamental assumptions and power structures that underpin the development of AI. Projects at DIR might involve examining the labor conditions of data workers in the Global South, analyzing the environmental impact of massive data centers, or developing AI tools that serve local languages and cultures, rather than imposing a dominant Anglophone worldview. The Institute is committed to a slow, thoughtful, and deeply contextualized approach to research, standing in stark contrast to the fast-paced, move fast and break things ethos of Silicon Valley. Through the creation of DIR, Timnit Gebru is not just continuing her fight for ethics and accountability. She is building an alternative future for AI. She is creating an institutional home for the kind of critical, independent research that is essential for holding the powerful accountable and for steering technology toward more just and equitable outcomes. Her work reminds us that the most important questions in AI are not just technical, but deeply human. It is a powerful testament to the idea that true progress in technology requires not only brilliant minds, but also courageous hearts willing to challenge the status quo and fight for a future that works for all of humanity. The story of artificial intelligence is no longer confined to elite universities or corporate campuses. The landscape is undergoing a profound transformation. For decades, cutting-edge AI research required immense resources, creating a high barrier to entry. A movement towards openness is putting the tools of creation into more hands, heralding a democratic era for AI. This shift is driven by open-source innovation. Platforms like Hugging Face have become hubs for the global AI community. They host pre-trained models and tools that anyone can access for free. This is energized by open-source large language models. The impact of this democratization is immense, empowering students, developers, and researchers to contribute to AI. This fosters a Cambrian explosion of creativity, leading to novel applications. It's about distributing power and ensuring the future of AI is built by a global community. This new generation brings diverse perspectives to the field. The next breakthrough may not come from a corporate lab. It might emerge from a young coder watching a video just like this one. Perhaps that person is you. The future of AI is still being written by a new generation, inheriting not just the technology, but also the profound responsibility that comes with it. How do we ensure AI aligns with human values and create genuine equity? These are deep philosophical, social, and political questions that will require interdisciplinary collaboration. The next wave of innovators will need to be more than just brilliant coders and engineers. They will need to possess technical skill and a deep understanding of humanity. The goal is to cultivate a world where human and machine intelligence coexist to create a better, more prosperous, and more just future for all. The potential is limitless, the stakes have never been higher, and the story of AI is only just beginning. AI is not an alien force, it reflects human intellect, ambition, and conscience. The machines are learning, but their lessons come from human minds. The stories of Hinton, Lee, Hassabis, and Gebru remind us that behind every line of code, there's a human story. They provide a blueprint for the future, showing us that beneficial technology requires balance. AI development is a human endeavor, calling for intelligence and compassion. The most critical algorithm is the human one: collaboration, foresight, and ethical deliberation. The story of AI is our story. We must teach the machines what is important and decide what problems are worth solving. The future is something we create. We must never forget what it means to be human.